Sometimes all it takes is a good barrel and a fist full of ideas. Now what can we do with this barrel? And what are we even doing here? And what are we even doing here out in Malachite anyways? Why use a barrel when you can use perfectly good tubes instead? Well, tubes aren't gonna do what we need. Game stand on it. Oh, look at that sick jump, dude. Alright, here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. Here's the moment. Here's the moment. Out of stamina, of course. Very stalker. Stalker moment, out of stamina. We made it. Alright, so now that we're up here, what the heck do we want to do? We could have did the whole tube method, running along those tubes, but that is for people that are stuck in the Stone Ages. We use barrels to get our PZ-91 Falcon. Boom! The PSZ-91 Falcon is arguably one of the best early game armor sets. You can get it for free outside of Malachite using the stupid barrel method that I made up 10 minutes ago, or you can do it the correct way by platforming on a bunch of tubes, starting from back here. You climb a ladder at this location, go to the tubes, throw a bolt, jump, throw a bolt, jump, throw a bolt, jump, platform up here, throw a bolt, jump, wind your way down to here, or you can just push a barrel from this building in here awkwardly, manipulating the physics object, and do a simple jump. And it basically takes probably longer to do what I did, but I wanted to see if I could do it. And it turns out I can. So for base stats, we have thermal protection of 1.2, electrical protection and chemical protection of 1.7, radiation protection of 2.5, psi protection of 2, and a whopping physical protection of 4.1 or 4.2 roughly. 9 kilograms, 3 baked-in artifact slots. 4 upgrades on the 91 Falcon, or the 9i Falcon, if that's an I or a 1, I can't really tell. We have a baked-in 40% physical protection mod that actually gets your physical protection to around 4.2, and then we can also get the weight reduction, but it is not compatible with the second 40% physical protection, which gets you to 4.5. So if you want more tanking, definitely grab that over the weight reduction, which honestly is not really that worth it. I'd rather get more tanking. Wear resistance, always get these on armor if you're going to be running them long term, unless you want to run the armor down to 0 durability. And then of course we have the expanded backpack for 10% carry capacity. Weirdly, in the shoulder, there's wear resistance, which is nice. Usually there's just like chemical, thermal, electrical protection. So definitely get the wear resistance over the thermal. It's just better. It's also 25%, so definitely get that. The other mods are just optional. Weirdly, you can get both in the second rank, the chemical thermal and then the electrical thermal. And then there's a choice between 20% electrical plus chemical or just 15% chemical, which literally makes no sense at all, unless this is a blueprint and this is not. But this is just objectively better, so run that. For the center, we have radio into radio protection, into psi protection, or radio into psi protection, into psi protection. So you have an either or fork of psi protection or radio. It's really up to you. Radio is fine, psi is fine, doesn't really matter. These are both, you could skip this as well. And interestingly, for the artifact, because we have 3 containers, we can get an additional one here and then a 5th one. But you can choose between having 4 maximum artifacts and 2 lead containers, or 5 maximum artifacts and 1 lead container. So pretty meaningful choice here. If you're going to be running this long term, if this is going to be your endgame armor, you really have to decide if you want 2 lead containers and 4 artifacts, or 1 lead container and 5 artifact slots. Personally, I think 2/4 is probably fine. If you want to just run like a compass to get max armor, or like a thunderberry, or whatever utility maximums you want to use, you can run those basically for free. Whereas if you were to run 5, there's really not that many like objectively overpowered or super useful artifacts. Like they're just all optional utility slots. So I would rather have 2 lead containers. That also helps with like build consolidation. Now that they've nerfed Weird Water and it only undoes 1 medium artifact, you will need maximum artifacts like Liquid Rock to undo the debuff from maximum degen artifacts. So I would say 2 lead containers is better overall. Now for minimum upgrades, if you want to just run this and like repair it, keep it cheap, I would still get the wear resistance into the armor, and then you could skip the carry capacity. But the carry capacity is nice. It gives you extra carry capacity. That's just always nice. It's almost like a mini exosuit with that mod. And then I would get the wear resistance on the shoulder and then skip everything else. And then for the chest, I would completely skip all of these. And then I would get either 2 artifacts in a lead container or 1 artifact slot and 2 lead container slots. And that is pretty much it for the upgrades. Now let's do a burn down to 20% and see how much it costs to repair this when it's fully upgraded. Let's do our controlled shock burn down. Curious to see how much these do to armor. 2%? Really? That's it? I'm gonna be here for a while. Oh yeah. Fantastic. We shocked ourselves down to 80%. Let's see how much it costs to repair this. The repair costs at 20% are 13k when this is fully upgraded. Now this is very competitive with the seva-i suit that has very similar stats. However, if we look at the stat difference, actually let's repair this. Now if we look at the stat difference between the two, you can kind of see that this has less radio protection. It has more psi protection and also has more armor. And in terms of price, like in terms of repair cost, they're pretty similar. The Falcon is a little bit harder to get because you do have to either manipulate a barrel and jump onto it or do a platforming thing where you can easily fall off and die. Whereas the seva-i suit, you just jump onto a railing and then onto like some pipes and then you're just in a building and you grab it. This is earlier and closer to the beginning of the game. For overall rating, I'm going to give this one a 9 out of 10. It has really high defensive stats overall. The radiation protection is decent. It has meaningful upgrades. It has interesting choices for those upgrades. It's very easy to get. It's also very easy to get early if you want to head all the way over to Malachite early. I do think it is slightly better than seva-i, but seva-i is definitely better in terms of how close it is to the start of the game. Once you get into the major area of the game where most of the quests are. So pretty good armor set. Definitely not as good as an exoskeleton, but if you do not go into Pripyat early, using the early Pripyat jump, I would say this is one of the better sets, one of the best sets for the early to middle game, and also it's endgame viable and has good stats. You can run this at endgame and it's not going to be that big of a deal. You're not going to be wishing you had an exoskeleton. It has good enough stats to run full time and easily beat the game with. So that is it for this one. Definitely like and subscribe. We also do have channel membership if you want to support the channel. That gets you emotes as well as some early morning streams that are usually random games. I will be returning to Stalker streams after I cover Monster Hunter Wilds. I still have to make a good 20 to 30 videos of that, but I'll still be making some Stalker videos while I work on those. Alright, that's it for now. Peace.